Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. There is a major rift in government, and it's a serious one, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. The rift is between the Cabinet and the Ministry of Defence. More specifically, the actual soldiers, the generals, the admirals, the Air Chief Marshals. They've been given a gagging order. Number 10's sort of superlative communications wonk. Not a public employee, you understand? Well, yeah, public employee because he's paid by public money, but not a politician. He's appointed by Starmer. His name's James Lyons. And he personally went round to the MOD and personally delivered basically a D-notice on the MOD. It doesn't really apply, but it's a gagging order. You will not speak, you will not do this. Now, there are multiple high-level defence sources confirming that this gagging order was delivered, so there's no denying it, even though number 10 are refusing to question it. And the reason for it going around first thing this morning was that later today is a RUSI conference. That's RUSI is the Royal United Services Institute, and it's where senior military types meet with senior officials in government, and they discuss strategy, approaches, requirements, manning, as well as materiel, etc. But they also speak and say about where their concerns lie and so forth. Why the gagging order? Because at the moment you've got Israel, Iran, you've got China, India in Kashmir, you've got all sorts of things going on all over the world, really. China and Formosa, get me, I'm old. But, you know, what is Formosa now? Taiwan. Jesus, Formosa. Sometimes I get up and I think I'm born in the 1920s. Anyway, China and Taiwan, as well as the whole Chagos Islands thing that's going on. There's lots of little bits all around the world. So why the gagging order? What are they trying to hide? What is their most embarrassing position? I think it's Iran-Israel, because Starmer and the Labour Party don't want to be seen as being anti-Iran because that's a Muslim country and they don't want to antagonise the Muslims. On the other hand, they don't want to be seen as anti-Israel because America's backing Israel. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or in number 10, it's between a cock and a ball sack, isn't it? Now, the MOD's communications guy, Simon Enright, has basically been forced to swallow this. He can't fight back because this has come from number 10, and he is at the mercy, if you will, if he cocks it up and gets it wrong. So he's basically going to have to bend the knee on this one. But the MOD has had its basically marching orders to stay quiet. No pun intended, actually. Sorry, to stay quiet from number 10. Now, this is very bad and it's almost unsustainable, and there's two reasons. One, how long can a monolithic dictatorship, Marxist dictatorship, exist without the backing of the military? You know, and if you lose the military as a government, you're in deep trouble, and they're losing the military. And when he goes to order them to fight, there's no guarantee they will. They'll say, no, we do not recognise your authority. And secondly, the reason it's unsustainable, and anyone who's been in the military knows this, generals like to talk. They like to put plans out there. They always have the freedom to voice their concerns and their views in the public, unrestricted by political requirements or, you know, inconvenience. And they say it's a good thing for defence because the people of the country are the people that they are defending, and they deserve to know what's going on. Said outside of actual military matters, which are obviously secret, said, but the general consensus is that the people should know. And this is very, very telling. Now, of course, on top of this, you've got the NATO problem. Starmer going, we will get to 3%, but no date for it. And apparently there's a lot of bitterness about that within the military. They want a confirmed date. They need to plan. They say these things can't happen overnight. It takes months, even years of planning for certain things to happen. And of course you are when you're talking on scales like that. You just don't go down to Bob's nuclear submarine shop and pick a nice one, do you? You don't just go out to, Warships Are Us and say, can you deliver it by Thursday? And then there's the manning, the materials, the weaponry, the maintenance, all sorts of things. It takes years. It's going to end in tears, isn't it? And I don't know whose, but I suspect Starmer's. Because you don't take on the military and win. Not when you're in a feat slug like Starmer. He'll have some general stand there and quite simply explain the situation right to his face. Hopefully with a sergeant major barking in his ear at the same time. Now I want to address one other thing with this position with the military. I know personally people, as well as from my own experience, that there's likely to be, if he sends people in, there's likely to be a lot of people either quitting the force, quitting the service, or refusing to soldier, or to sailor, or to RAF, whatever they do. They're not. There's going to be a lot of people refusing action. Now, technically, that's a crime. However, if there's a lot of them, it becomes a mutiny. But the problem for Starmer is he's now alienated his own generals. If he does, and there is a mutiny, whose side of the general's going to be on? Starmer's fucked. That's what happens though, isn't it? Never antagonise the guards. Thanks very much. Bye.